Stardust. That's what they call it on the street these days.
Is that what they call it on the street?
Yeah, I think the whoever wrote this was doing some Stardust. This is kind of crazy.
Yep. It'll make you a little gay. It'll make you into a fairy.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I mean that in the traditional, the fairy tale sense. I mean, literally a fairy. It'll make you happy and gay.
No, okay, no, don't stop it.
Enough of that.
All right, you're right. It'll make you a fag.
Shut up. No, this movie is it seems like something that would appeal to the chubby Renaissance girls,
Yeah, this is really the first out and out fantasy chick flick. Well, since Legend.
Okay, right.
But it is. It's a total like Lord of the Rings type thing, but for girls, really.
Yeah,
and nothing wrong with that.
No,
Now you said for girls, like guys can't like it.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be that way, but it definitely has that feeling of being more feminine.
It's a romantic fairy tale, sort of, but at the same time, it's got plenty of kick-ass action in it, and magic, and best of all, humor.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every time I've seen a trailer for this, I just thought this movie's gonna suck. This movie's gonna suck. Had no idea it would have a sense of humor about itself, and to me, that's its best saving grace.
Well, if you've read, it's based on a book by the writer Neil Gaiman, who was most famous for a long-running comic book series called The Sandman. And one of the things that made him so popular was that he was able to mix really well-done adult fantasy mythology and have a modern sense of humor about itself, almost a kind of self-awareness that didn't take you out of it, but actually added to it. And Stardust manages that. It's part of what makes it funny. It even, in an appearance with Robert De Niro in it, it pokes fun at Pirates of the Caribbean in its own way by having De Niro be a gay pirate.
Well, we don't want to spoil it.
That's sort of a spoiler.
Okay.
All I know is when Robert De Niro came on, I was just like, I said, let me get my thoughts together, because he came on and I was just like, I guess Robert De Niro said, fuck it, I ain't gonna have no British accent, because everybody in the movie has a British accent and Robert De Niro is the only one. What did you say? He
said, I guess there's a New York in Fairyland, because he comes out like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. What are you doing on my ship? You fucking, and it's like, okay, we're exaggerating a little bit, but it was like a New York cop or a gangster coming in. It's like, man, this is bad. But he ended up like being one of the best performances in the movie. He was just really funny.
He turned the movie around, because like I really liked the beginning of it, but for a while in the middle, it's kind of warning, like, where's this going? I'm starting to fall asleep, and then he comes on and completely spins it around, and the movie really just kept its momentum all the way to the end from that point.
You realize, of course, we're the only people who probably have ever done a podcast who can't do a Robert De Niro impression.
Yeah, those are like the worst Robert De Niro impressions I ever heard.
I wasn't trying. You don't want me to bring out my Robert De Niro, because if I did, I do Robert De Niro so well I have to kill you.
Okay.
If you want to die, I'll do it.
Slay me.
Yeah. Take me down to Chinatown.
I want to hear it. And I want to hear you motherfucker do Christopher Walken.
You talking to me? And the impression's good when I got a gun to your head.
Wow. It's like he's actually here.
I know, I'm mystified and nauseated at the same time.
Now, this movie's got a lot of like people in it that you wouldn't expect, like Robert De Niro and Claire Danes, and then Michelle Pfeiffer. And man, you know what I love about Michelle Pfeiffer is like Michelle Pfeiffer's reached that age where she can't be the hot chick no more. All she can do is play like just evil bitches. She's like the evil sorceress in Sinbad. She's Cruella de Vil knockoff in Hairspray, and now she's just an evil witch turning old.
Yeah, that brings up the point that this was bringing me out of the movie a little bit watching this, because I couldn't stop thinking about it. The big question I think anyone who knows Corey is going to have on their minds when they watch this film is, when she's half old evil witch and half hot young Michelle Pfeiffer, would Corey still do her?
Is that a question? I mean, damn, because I'm telling you, look, y'all, I don't know what y'all talking about. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer's still fine to me.
Even under all that latex and makeup.
I'd take her with that latex on. I mean, I'm not saying because she don't really look like that, but
I bet she does. I bet the one you look at and you think is fine. That's the makeup. That's the latex.
I know, right? They put the latex on to make her look like the young Michelle Pfeiffer.
Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
He's like, I'll just squint when she turns old.
She's my own personal Jessica Rabbit. She may not be real, but she looked good to me.
Exactly. I hope she's listening too. You hear these fools up here. I love you, baby. Gonna always love you. But the thing is that No, the movie, you're right. It reminded me of something like The Princess Bride.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a fairy tale. They know that it can be corny, so in order to make it work, they got to throw in a lot of humor. I didn't read the book, but I'm going to assume that this probably has a tad more humor than the book. Did you read it?
It's about the same amount, I think.
Okay.
I think some stuff was sort of played up for the screen or drawn out more humor-wise. I wanted to say, I think if this movie has a flaw, it's actually in the editing and the direction. It's kind of a mess at points with that. It just kind of feels like all over the place. And this was directed by Matthew Vaughn, who I believe did Layer Cake.
Oh, really?
I believe it's Matthew Vaughn. I believe it was Layer Cake that he did.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Which, I almost kind of had similar feelings. Like, great story. It's really tight at moments, and at other points it just feels like directionless. Like, it doesn't really know what it wants to do. This suffers from that same thing. However, the core material, the writing, the story, the joke sequences all bring this above what, something that would be like Aragon or something like that.
Yeah.
As a matter
of fact, to me, the fact that it went so awry in the middle and was able to pull itself back together towards the end makes me appreciate it even more.
Yeah. Now, see, I'm kind of caught between. I don't know if it's a problem with the writing, or you just kind of have to accept the movie for what it is. Because right in the middle, it doesn't try to set up this world. It just throws you right in, and you have to either be with it or not. Yeah. And it threw me off in the beginning. I was like, well, I don't know if I'm with this whole fantasy thing. I mean, it's just too vague for me. But I mean, by the time the movie kicked into gear, I was loving it during that second half. I really thought it was funny, and it was also pretty exciting.
It's because it's a mythological film in the sense that, not like Pan's Labyrinth, where it kind of sets you up piece by piece into this thing that exists side by side with our own world. It's a given, like a fairy tale is. It's just like, look, there are witches and there are goblins and what have you. That's just the way the world is. Come on, what's with you? Get with the program.
Yeah, have you ever seen what was that? What's that Japanese director?
Hayao Miyazaki?
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna get all film school on you and everything, but it's like a Miyazaki movie.
I was thinking that too.
It's like Miyazaki, the Japanese animator. He makes these movies where they're worlds upon themselves, and you're thrown right in, and you just have to live there.
I think you totally got that right.
And one thing I'll say about the humor of it is, like, it really felt organic and worked, where it was like enough to keep you going with it and liking it. But it didn't take over like a movie like Shrek. I was just stress that point where it's not like, hey, we're just playing everything for laughs, and we'll even throw in anachronistic stuff. It's like, no, this all worked within itself.
Yeah, I mean, and you made a good point earlier. I mean, this is like, you have nerds out there who like Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. They're these guys who are into that, and they're pretty geeky, and they ain't getting laid. I mean, this is the female version of it. These are girls who are, they're not getting laid, so they
obviously haven't met Corey yet.
Yeah, because if they met me, they wouldn't like this movie.
You'd be like, I got a turkey leg for you, baby.
Yeah. Bring your Renaissance loving ass on over here. I'll be wearing armor for him. I'll be the Black Knight.
Man, you dress up for every movie that came out. I remember you were wearing glasses and a lightning scarf for Harry Potter, trying to pick up those chicks.
Trying.
Yeah, coming out there with a wig on. I really did like this movie, man. I did. I'm between full price and matinee. I think I'm gonna go matinee because it was a little slow at the beginning for me, but I really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, although it took me by surprise. I'm gonna have to go with matinee as well, though, just because it took a while for me, even being familiar with the story, to warm up to it. It's a little awkward at first, and even throughout the rest of it, there are points it just kind of meanders a bit. But ultimately, it's a fun movie that isn't really like any other fantasy film. It does a lot of surprising stuff.
It's funny because one of the reasons I expected to hate it was because Carlisle kept talking about how much he hated it. But I think it's because it's so much like a script he's been working on for the last few years. He's just like, God damn it, they ripped me off. Now I have to hate the movie.
Wait, you thought you were going to hate it because Carlisle hated it?
I know.
What are you talking about?
That's why I thought I was going to love it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so close to giving this full price, but you guys bring up good points. I'm going to say matinee.
But it's really good. Yeah, the funniest part to this movie, to me though, is there's a scene where where a goat gets the shit kicked out of him. And that, for some reason,
they didn't even bother to make it look real, really. It's just, that's what makes it funny.
It was
big stuffed goat gets thrown against the wall.
That's what it was, because it didn't look real. Somebody threw like one of those somebody threw one of those
pinata against the wall.
Somebody threw like one of those carnival stuffed animals one of those stuffed animals you win at a carnival cheap game, It's like somebody threw a stuffed fake goat up against the wall, and even when it fell down, it was all
already
stiff.
totally stiff.
It hit rigor mortis in midair.
I laughed, man, for a good 15, 20 minutes after that happened, just thinking about it. And I'm almost willing to give this movie full price just for that.
Just for the goat throwing.
Yeah, the goat throwing scene. But
We
anyway.
didn't mention Ricky Gervais in this, who has a really funny cameo.
Yeah.
It just comes out of left field, and you're like, oh my God, it's Ricky Gervais. And he plays that role that we all know, that stumbling, sort of misspeaking type guy who's not very cool, and he's funny as hell in it.
Yeah, he steals his scene.
Yeah, he totally steals.
Yeah.
He steals it away from Robert De Niro. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, there's a scene with Robert De Niro and Ricky Gervais, and it's great, and they really play off each other well. And really, Ricky Gervais is just getting, man, that dude, he's pimping himself. he does Ricky Gervais and is getting paid fat checks for it because he does himself so well.
He's really, he's becoming the new Rowan Atkinson, and thank God for that, because I'm so tired of Rowan Atkinson showing up in any movie that's has a comedic aspect that has British people in it. Rowan Atkinson's ass has got to show up somewhere. Hello, I was in Blackadder.
I'm still happy you said that. That was a pinata they threw up against the wall.
It would have been funny if it had exploded and candy had flown out.
Say it again.
Man, that was a pinata they threw up against the wall.
Yeah, I'm just putting that in there just in case it's something to animate. That'd be funny. You say it'd be funny if candy exploded.
Magical candy.
What did y'all think about Claire Danes?
Well, she's still as hot as she ever was. That's for
Wait a
sure.
minute, say it again.
She's still as hot as she ever was. That's for sure.
This is the first time I like Claire Danes, and I thought she was great in the movie. This is the first time I've seen a movie with Claire Danes in it where she didn't cry and had that ugly ass face that she does.
Yeah, she does get that Laura Dern face going and everything else.
Yeah, that her nostrils get real big and she get all these crazy wrinkles that came out of nowhere. I mean, she's beautiful, but
Well, it's funny to me because, like, from a distance, I always get her confused with Gwyneth Paltrow. And it's almost like she said, like, well, if everybody's going to confuse me with her, then I'll just start taking her roles and playing British too.
yeah, no, she was, but she was very good. A very good British accent she had.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, she was very good in the movie.